Well, hello there, ladies. How are you?
Hello.
Hello,
Wow.
hello, hello, hello. It's October 1st, and it is
Mhm.
National Breast Cancer Awareness
Yes,
Month.
it is.
Yay.
So
Mhm.
I'm excited to get together. Thank you all for joining. This is Shelley Rawlings, your hostess with the mostest. And this conversation is called Unleashed, Real Talk, Real Conversation. And the reason that I wanted to do this, and I hope that it just continues to go and go and go, and more people join in, is I want people to have real conversation about health in the Black community because we all see stuff.
Yep.
And we see a lot. We talk to a lot of people, family, friends, neighbors, church, coworkers, whatever.
Mhm.
And there's some stuff going on in our community, and it's not
Yeah.
getting better.
Right.
And I feel like we can make a move to push the conversation, hopefully. And I couldn't think of two people better than to have you two on today to talk about it. So, what you go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll jump right on in.
All right.
Lolita, why don't you
All
start
right.
first?
All right. My name is Lolita Jacinto, and I'm a registered nurse by profession. I've been a nurse for 33 years, and a lot of that's been in med surg, oncology, some home care. And the past 20 years or so, I've been specifically in labor and delivery. I've always been passionate about healthcare, health and wellness. From a little girl, I can remember, initially I wanted to be a physician, but then I was a candy striper
I remember
in
those.
those years. And it gave me a chance, though, to see that it was the nurse that really nurtured the patient and really cared for the patients. The physicians were in and out of there, doing what they do. So I changed my mind and I pursued that nursing career. And it's been really, really rewarding. Being in the home care, you really get to see patients in their home environment once they're discharged from the patients. And when I moved to this area, actually in the DMV, I had territory in DC, and um, it was really, really, really an eye opener, to see, how a lot of our elderly were living. So it really gave me a chance to, really get in their homes and straighten out some things.
Right,
So,
right.
it's just a such needed thing. And, babies and the elderly are my faves. So,
Gotta love the babies.
yeah.
That's great. No, and I know we're going to get to it because you see a lot. And
Oh, yeah.
the more that I talk with you and the more we get to have real girl conversation and venting sessions,
Oh,
I
yeah.
know how much you care about
Yeah.
the patients because, there's a level there that goes well beyond just the doing the job part.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
Mhm.
So my other guest here, we go way back as well. Marla, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Marla Smith, and I have been in healthcare pretty much all of my working adult life for the last 25 years, clinical research specifically. But before that, I worked as a medical assistant and I worked in rheumatology practices. So folks with arthritis love seniors as well. Some family practice, which gave me exposure to a bunch of, just from seniors to babies.
Right.
And then most recently with the research, vaccines, rare diseases, so a lot of stuff that affects
Wow.
children
Mhm.
and people that we don't hear about every day. So the passion is there. I really care, and I'm really excited to be able to be a part of this conversation or these conversations just about different things. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And yeah, so everybody knows or will know when this goes live that you and I have been friends since we were little girls.
Little girls.
So we have seen quite a bit together with friends and family and all sorts of stuff. But so this is Unleashed. There's no holds bar on the conversation. So let me start there because I want to go in on some things. But today is Breast Cancer Awareness Month officially with October 1st. And I wrote a blog, and I didn't say this earlier, but I run a consulting company, a boutique health and wellness company called Wellness Ant. And we go into businesses helping corporations and company owners create a good culture for their employees, work, life balance, workplace wellness, et cetera. And so we do a lot of stuff on the health front as well.
Right.
And I'm certified as a corporate wellness specialist. So I get to dig into some areas that I hadn't before. And so I wrote this blog on breast cancer awareness. And, you know, it was really interesting to me. One of the stats that I saw was when you look at Black women and white women as it relates to breast cancer, the numbers are running now kind of side to side. So we're not above white women as it relates to breast cancer. Where the challenge and the issue is the mortality rate
higher in Black women.
40% higher. 40% higher in breast cancer deaths than white women. What is going on? Like what in the world? Like 40%? That is crazy. And so, you know, I know there's a lot of reasons behind that. You know, Marla, you probably remember my mother worked for the American Cancer Society for 35 years. So she used to cart me around. And that's what I said in the blog. She used to cart me around to some of her community outreach, teaching women how to do self-exams. I was at Gallaudet College watching her teach and have someone do sign language to the students and the professors. So at a really young age, I remember this whole breast cancer thing. But it didn't affect me. I was just kind of hanging out with my mom, watching her do what she does, right? So now as an adult, seeing and experiencing friends, family die or have, you know, breast cancer and take that journey, it's gut-wrenching. It is gut-wrenching. So some of it's hereditary, obviously, and a lot of it isn't. So Lolita, I'm gonna start with you because you might have seen or you have some insight to what's going on.
I mean, you know, a lot of it is hereditary. A lot of it's just poisons and toxins that, you know, we ingest in our bodies that, you know, create a lot of free radicals that do bad things if you don't clear them. You know, a lot of it is a lack of, you know, doing self-breast exams and having that tender touch. I mean, just recently, you know, I shaved under my arms and like more than a few days, it was more like maybe 4 days, 5 days after, you know, I developed what I felt was a little nodule, you know, I kind of felt it because I do my exams. And I was like, oh, you know, and I was telling my mom, and so my mom was trying to feel it and she couldn't feel it. You know, my hands are certainly a lot more therapeutic. And so I think a lot of women, either they're not doing them and learning their bodies. You know, I find when a lot of women or teenage girls, you know, come to me and they want to talk about things, like a lot of teenagers never even seen their vaginas and what it looks like down there, you know? So, I mean, that's real talk because, you know, I mean, having children, I mean, my kids are big now, but having children, I would get a lot of those questions because they didn't want to go to their parents to talk about what they had questions for.
Right.
You know, they came to Miss Lowe. Miss Lowe, cool.
Right.
So we would have to have these conversations.
Right.
And that, you know, apples don't fall far from the tree. That trickles down from mom not teaching their daughter or not having that comfort level.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we really have to be self-aware of what's going on. I mean, the Bible says that our body is the temple. Well, what happens in church or your child acting up, you
Right.
straighten it out.
Right.
Well,
Right.
this is our temple. This is the only place
But you have to live. Right.
so we better take care of it. And our body is so fabulous. I mean, I look at fetuses all the time in labor. My baby, I can't see yet.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is listen to the heart rate, and it tells me a lot about what's going on with my baby.
Wow.
Well, our bodies are the same way. I mean, we're created by, Allah, God, whatever that force is for you.
Yeah.
And so we function in the same way. So when our bodies are out of balance, it's at a dis-ease, it's going to speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we're not listening. Like when you get that headache, what's going on?
So, I mean, the thing is, do you believe, either one of you, do you believe that in our community at whatever age, people believe that it's an either or, either I'm gonna go get a mammogram or I'm doing a self-exam, but
sometimes
it's both?
Yeah, maybe. So I think both, and sometimes people say it's not going to be me.
Right. That's what I was going to say. I think that and because of the whole conversation around mammograms, that people are afraid to get them. I've heard that so many times. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. They're not going to squish my breast.
It hurts. It hurts.
It hurts.
Right.
Okay, it's a momentary pain or discomfort, right?
Discomfort, yeah.
But it's going to affect you. And so they're not doing self-breast exams because if they did it and they found something, then that means they have to go get it checked.
Right.
And, oh no, I'm not.
They don't want to know.
They don't want to know.
They don't want to know.
Until they have no choice but to know something is.
And then in this day and age too, it's proper follow-up because, a lot of people in this day and age are getting laid off, losing their jobs, losing their insurances. Even, pregnant wise, they lose their insurance and, they're not seen, So I think that contributes to it as well. And if you have something going on and you don't get the proper follow-up, it just gets worse. So by the time it gets worse, it's in an advanced stage.
Right. And so that's what forces them to go when there's some manifestation that they can't just ignore.
Right.
And then they go and it's like, oh yeah, I did notice that. Oh yeah, I did feel that discomfort. I did notice my breath looks different.
Right.
And I don't think necessarily that people are aware of a sign, right? That could be that there's something, since we're talking about breast cancer, but that there could be something going on in your body.
Right.
And I think too, there's this myth that it's an older woman's disease. Like when I was growing up and I was following my mother around to all of her educational seminars and things like that, even years later when I would go to her office as, an executive vice president running it, the women that I saw come in were older. Right? So I don't know if it's because age brings wisdom and they know now that they need to look. You know what I mean? But we've known people, we know people now, Marla, that are younger, that are going through a breast cancer journey.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking because, Lolita, maybe you can answer, Marla, I guess either one. Do people understand that a self-exam is quick, it's easy, you can do it in the shower? What's the best way? How do you do it properly so that you understand what you're feeling? Because some people will say, well, my breasts always feel that way. So
right. And some people do. Some people have very nodular breast, and so that feels kind of lumpy, which is why you need to do your exam on a regular basis so you get to know your lumps.
Right.
So you can detect what's not normal.
Is you. Right.
It's painful when you touch it. Or, even if it's a lymph node, that's something that's under your arm.
Yeah, that one I had was kind of
I've had one before too. I've had one before.
Right.
I take annual mammograms. I go get them. one time, and I'm expecting just to run in and run out. And one time they pulled me back and said, hang on a second. We see.
Right. We're going to need to take another shot.
Right. Or that letter in the mail that says come back.
Right. And so now I'm sitting there waiting.
Right.
And another doctor comes in and they're looking at the x-rays. And I'm like, Lord Jesus, and you get a fear because you don't know what they see.
Right.
And that fear, Shelley, is the fear, I think, that keeps women from talking to one another, certainly, and then even going to the doctors, because, of course, if it were one of us talking to each other, and, I felt this nodule, we're going to say, you should go to the doctor, you should get it checked. Just go and let them look. But if I'm someone wanting to have help.
I didn't waste no time. I went to work. My OB doctor works with me. I saw her and I was like, stop. Come here, listen, look,
right.
Still there,
Yeah.
I mean, because you don't play with stuff like that.
You don't play with it.
Right. That's
you really don't.
The privilege. But I think that then, so folks who don't have health care, right, they're not going to the clinics for whatever their reasons are, shame or whatever. And so they're not getting care for when there's public assistance that you can go and get the same testing done.
Exactly.
And it costs, right?
There's lots of organizations out there that will connect you with free breast exams.
Right.
Lots of there's endless organizations out there now.
A lot of resources. Yeah.
And everybody has smartphones, majority of folks, right? So you can Google it, you can figure it out if that's an easy way to do it. And then take somebody with you. If you're afraid, have somebody go with you, a good girlfriend go with you to the doctor. I mean, we all have breasts, regardless of size, we all have them, and we can support one another that way. But I think the message needs to be like, really check yourself, really just, feel around and see what they feel like. So like Lily was saying, your lumps.
Right. And then a lot of times, being in the in labor and delivery, I always encourage breastfeeding, for my moms, because if you breastfeed, for at least a year, you can decrease some of those risks. Because sometimes, women in our community, we don't want to breastfeed.
Yes, it's a whole different thing.
And that's baby's liquid gold right there.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
So if I'm a mom and I have a daughter, because part of the conversation is teaching people to model the behavior, right? So we can talk to our girlfriends and we can have them, share or confide in us if they have a fear that they feel something, but behind closed doors in the households, right? If I have a daughter, what's the right age? I mean, is it just when they start wearing a bra? Is it 16? Like, does it matter?
As far as teaching self-breast exams, I mean, I think when they have a bra, I started training my daughter very early.
Did you? Okay.
I surely did. I mean, when she goes to the doctor, her doctor says, Dr. Desiree, how can I help you? Because she is very knowledgeable.
Yeah, that's the same thing with my daughter as well. I just started her body, first of all, using real words because, old school, they didn't call you breast, your breast. They made up some word, some pet name that wasn't breast. So then you're not even comfortable saying breast like you're saying a bad word, right?
Or they give you a book to read. Let me know if you have any questions, right?
So, I started with my daughter early. She probably would say like I was over the top, but I just wanted her to be comfortable with her body, understand what was going on, so that with each thing, it wasn't some major shock. So when the breast started growing and you get the little knot, this knot is different than the knot that will be there, like if there was something wrong, like just that level of education.
No, that's good. That's good. So as we close, because I know we've got some other juicy topics that we're going to share, because we got trauma in women I want to get to. We have diabetes I want to get to. Why men don't go to the doctor I want to get to. Like, there's so many topics that I just want to dig into. But as we close, I'm hoping that people will watch this, specifically this month, because you're going to see all the football teams and professional teams wearing pink this month. You're going to see stuff at CVS at checkout that have pink. You have, okay, and all that's cute. And yes, the goal was met, I think, to raise awareness. But there's so many other things that are actionable, that are meaty, that people can do to make a difference, right? And so I want people to watch this and maybe get inspired to do a self-exam today. Like, do it today. You know, my mammogram is already scheduled. I'm going next
Mhm.
week. You know, I do it every year, get the reminder. But we
Yep.
want people to take action because you don't want to wait.
Right.
It's frightening to see someone go through
Yeah.
radiation and chemo
Yeah. Yeah.
at a stage where, number one, it could have not even had to happen. It was, you know, could have been avoidable, but
Right.
just the toll that it takes on your body, your mind, your spirit, your family.
Yeah.
And so if we can curb that, that'll go a long way.
It'll be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes,
You all
that's
are
great.
gems, and we got some more to get to. So I'll let you go for now. But for everyone watching, you can check us out on YouTube, and I will post the link. It's going to be Unleashed, Real Talk, Real Conversation. Invite people to listen and join in, because we're going to open this up and go live a few times so people can ask questions and just post their comments and stuff as well. So thank you, ladies. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.